Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news, discussion, and of course a whole lot of opinions about Brandon's works and the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm WeiryWriter.
Also joining me is Joshua.
Thanks, Eric. Jofwu?
Sure you are. And also joining me is Grace.
Hi, I'm GatorGirl.
All right, today, guys, we recently discussed the Kholins, and we discussed them a lot. There's another family that has a lot to talk about, and that's the Davars. So we're not keeping up with the Kholins anymore. We're dealing with the Davars. And I would like to open with one thing that Ben, who couldn't make it today, said that not that, Ian. Not that. That the Kholins are the most influential family on Roshar, and the Davars are the most influenced family on Roshar.
That is an accurate statement.
Cause what do we have? We have Skybreakers, Ghost Bloods,
Yeah.
Unmade. Anything else?
Alcohol?
Technically Hoid.
Technically Hoid.
Void?
All right.
The Cryptics. They kind of
Cryptics?
count.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Political opponents?
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so massively influenced by so many things. So let's start with Shallan. We'll try and focus on her relationships because we could talk about Shallan a lot.
This is
Yeah.
true. I would like to point out that she is technically a Kholin now.
Okay.
So I mean, as a Davar, that's kind of what we can focus on, right?
Yep. Yeah, right. We didn't talk much about Shallan in the Kholin episode. People have strong opinions about Shallan, of course. But
So let's go.
great. So, Ian, why don't you tell us a little bit about Shallan?
She killed her parents.
Yes, both of them. She made herself an orphan. Good job. 10 out of 10.
Self-induced orphanism.
Orphanism. Yep. There we
Yes,
go.
orphanism.
But she also plays the TN role where she provides light and binds the family together,
She
Oh,
really does.
yeah. Okay. In that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
which is a very interesting dichotomy.
I didn't realize before we did research for this that Brandon did confirm that her parents are, in fact, her biological parents, which
Yeah.
was nice.
Did he say that that all of her siblings are also biological parents, or did he just confirm for Shallan?
Wait. Well,
I think he just
that statement
confirmed
you said was not
Shallan.
correct. Her siblings were not biological parents yet. But
Yeah, that's okay. Oh dear.
Just give Balat and
yeah.
Anita a little time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't explicitly say that. But I did like how Brandon confirmed it in 2014, and then at the Skyward release, he's like, "Ha ha ha! Ha. Should I confirm that? I guess I will." It's like, you did this 4 years ago.
He does that a lot.
I know.
Or where he's like, "Oh, I don't want to confirm that." I was like, "You confirmed that like 2 years ago."
Did I? Oh yeah.
So she killed both her parents. She kind of holds the family together. She's a little bit crazy.
Like the rest of her family.
Yeah, like the rest of her family.
That's true. Is she more screwed up than the rest of them, or is she about the same?
She has magical powers that make her screw ups more compounded. Let's say.
Yeah.
I definitely say she's the most
Interesting.
affected by what happened,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she's really at the center of it all. Whereas
Yeah.
her siblings are more on the periphery, so they're impacted definitely, but
She is the one that caused it, though. So
Yeah, both
She
times.
is
Both
caused
at
times.
the heart of it.
yeah.
I mean, caused the death of her parents. Didn't cause all the mess. The mess would have happened. Like, the screwed up family
Yeah.
wasn't entirely her fault.
No. It kind of ruined their family that Shallan killed her mom because Lynn took the blame for that, and that caused their entire political situation because he took the blame for it instead of Shallan. And man, reading those Words of Radiance flashbacks, that was just so good because you're like, wow, Lynn is awful. Just terrible.
Well, so we were actually talking about this before we started recording, though. So one kind of big question, though, that's really weird is what was their family like before Shallan killed her mother?
Well, that's a great question.
Because there's not a lot there.
There
No.
really isn't.
I mean, we have what do we have? We have the fact that Shallan bonded to Cryptic in the first place, which is not a good sign for how things were going.
I guess that's true. That's
Cryptics
true.
are attracted to lies and stories, so
I mean, also her mom and another Skybreaker acolyte tried to kill her, so great family life. I'm sure.
But like even there had to be something going on even long before that.
Yeah, I agree.
That was
we need a
So-
flashback book for Lindavar and his wife.
Yeah.
Get
Like-
the full story.
Oh God, I don't want to be in his head. But no.
Okay, yeah, good
But
point.
It's looking at Len. We see this echoed with Dalinar actually, where people aren't as bad as the worst thing they've done, but they're also not as good as the best thing they've ever done.
That
People are
seems
more
fair.
complicated than that.
That seems pretty fair.
So it's like, yes, he did horrible things. Like he killed Melise, his second wife,
Rip.
but he also tried to protect his daughter,
Yeah.
even from the rest of his family.
Yeah, and no one, and I don't think her brothers knew at all, right?
No.
No, they have
No.
no idea yet, which will be an
That-
interesting reveal when that
that will
happens,
be
because I'm sure
fun.
that has to
Yeah,
happen
I
at
think
some
so,
point.
yeah.
He
Because
tried
there's-
to when Halaran shows up, first flashback after the mother died, he kind of tries to defend himself a little bit. He doesn't like outright say like, "Oh, like this is why I did it," but he kind of tries to say like, "Trust me, you know, like I didn't just do this for whatever." And Halaran has nothing to do with it though. So
Yeah.
And that's the first time Shallan speaks after it. And it's to tell Helaran, like, back off of Dad, basically. For him. So
Yeah.
it's like he definitely does not know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
But the whole "I had good reasons" argument probably works a lot better when you're not known as like an abusive parent who beats your kids and servants.
Yeah.
You're not
But-
wrong. You're not
but
wrong.
then that goes back to this whole like how much do we know in the first place thing though, because what was he like before Shallan killed her mother? Did he have a reputation at all like that before? Because I don't actually get the sense that he had that reputation before.
It did seem.
I don't know.
I got that impression that it kind of started with that. That it's like, oh, he killed his wife, so you can't mess with him.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
taking the blame for that definitely set him on a dark path. And I think a lot of the issues before that weren't so much directed at the kids, but we don't know what Lynn and Mama Davars' relationship was like.
No.
I-
There's the implication that she was having an affair towards the end,
Yeah.
Oh.
because that's what everybody, took for what the story was.
Yeah.
Audience listening, if your parents divorced, it's hard to imagine. Like, wow, how did you two like each other? If that's your family, like I can't think of Shallan's family being great. Maybe there was at some point, maybe, but it's hard to really see. So I don't know. I don't really think that. I don't really know how happy things could have been, but yeah.
I think there were moments of goodness and a lot of bad.
Yeah.
Because there's the scene, the Middlefest chapter
Yeah.
of the flashback, where she's talking with Hoyd. and he's kind of drawing out like her deepest desire, and it's mother's alive, Helaran never left,
Right.
we're all happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you kind of have to dig back to, was this ever something that could have been, or is this like just totally a dream that like has no like real foundation to build it from, right?
It could be something where she thinks that it could have been real, but like her parents hid the worst of it from her, so it wasn't ever really actually like that.
Yeah, it is notable in that scene. I'm just looking at the quote. It talks about Helaran never left. The people my mother knew, Drader, never came to our home. To me, something in that kind of suggests that her involvement with the Skybreakers is maybe where a lot of things started going wrong.
That's entirely possible. I find it very interesting that Shallan got a Spren so early. Like, we got her a flashback book, but we don't know how she progressed to Shardblade. You know, like, that's not a minor thing, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Not all orders progress in the same way.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Windrunners and the Edge Dancers get their blade on the third ideal, but
Yeah.
she could have had the first ideal and then her first truth. That could have been enough. So, but
It's still very interesting to think about.
Yes.
Like, what did happen? When did that happen?
We don't know. This feels like the sort of thing we should have gotten in her flashbacks, but
It was
But no.
it was kind of a secret though, because like it was the whole secret that pattern was in the box. That was like the cool part about that. That like, oh, she killed him. Or she killed her and him. But killed both of them.
there's a lot of killing going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the flashbacks don't give us everything.
No.
Because there's a lot of gaps in Kaladin's
That's true.
flashbacks. Like, we never meet Terra in
That is true.
Bay of
That's-
Kings. She's
yeah.
mentioned.
That's a big hole for him, like that part of his life, really.
And like all of his attempts to escape as a slave.
I can understand why that was a hole
Yep.
in this
Yeah,
flashback. That get a
that's
little
super
old.
depressing,
But
yeah.
but like Terra, like that's
Yeah.
one of those things when you read Way of Kings, who the crap is this? You know, I want to know more of that. So I hope we can slip it in and learn more of that part of Shallan, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that we will kind of get some of that as we dig into her healing process in the next 2 books.
As we
Yeah.
dig
Yeah.
into the Davars.
Now we're dealing with them now, remember?
I know.
And she's not a Davar anymore.
Thank you.
Keep up with the digging Kholins? What? Okay.
Okay.
That didn't work. I'm tired.
But I do think a lot of these family secrets and questions have to come out once all of the Davars are back together again. Because
Yeah. True.
we haven't seen all the Davar siblings together, like, during the current thing ever. Only in flashbacks.
Yeah, like Shallan was never around them. It was just like, oh, we saw Balat in an interlude, right? And that was our first on-screen glimpse. But yeah, it was just the flashbacks and Shallan's POV, and maybe that's setting up a lot of stuff with the Ghost Bloods, which is why maybe we didn't get a lot of it in Oathbringer, because we'll get a lot more Ghost Blood-y things, and we know a lot more about the Skybreakers, so the Skybreakers will be more relevant in the 4th book, right?
Yeah.
But there's definitely answers that need to be resolved. And speaking of one thing that's weird, we do not know Shallan's mom's name.
We don't
We
know
don't.
most of the names of the mothers in the Cosmere.
I
that's
counted
true.
it. Half of the unnamed character category and on the Coppermind are people's mothers.
Hello, Coppermind fellows. Let's complain about how we don't know names of things. Raoden's mom. Serene's
Ellen's
mom.
mom.
Ellen's mom. Yeah. Wow. I'm imagining Straff marrying anyone, but I don't think that was a marriage of love. I'll just say that.
Ciri and Vivenna's
Ciri
mom.
and Vivenna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Oh, my God.
Did we get Sesebrin's mom?
No, we didn't get
No.
her name.
No.
Poor mothers.
Brandon Sanderson books. Wives get killed. Mothers don't get named.
Pretty much.
But
Spook's mother never gets named. We get his father's name, but
it didn't really feel like Spook's mom was really relevant to
Well, apparently none of them are.
his personality. Yeah, I guess not that important. There is a word of Brandon where Brandon says, "Oh, you'll learn more about Melise in Words of Radiance. She's just a rural light eyes of not much consequence. Shallan's mom, however, like what? Come on.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean? You know?
I assume that it means she was involved. I mean, the fact that she was involved with the Skybreakers is the interesting thing about her. Maybe there is more, but that's kind of what I.
Yeah.
How did she get connected with them? What's the history there? That's certainly something that's a big mystery.
Yeah, that's more. Melise is what she is on the label. Like she's just a rural light eyes. Whereas there's mysteries going on with Shallan's mother.
Yeah.
So what do we think was going on? Let's go into rampant theory time because we really don't know very much.
I mean, how would she get connected with? How do you get connected with the Skybreakers? How does anybody get connected with the Skybreakers? Other than Nail like flying out of the sky and showing up and saying, "You're mine now."
Here's Nightblood.
I don't know.
What's up?
Skybreaker hears a rumor that there's a Nihil bond forming.
Yeah.
They send someone out to investigate, and that guy's like, "You know what? I'll seduce these kids' mother. That'll be a good way to get close to the family."
Was the Skybreaker acolyte? How much do we know of the mom's Skybreaker friend? Do we know much at all?
No.
Not even like male or female.
His name is Drader, or that's not even actually guaranteed.
It's implied.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Because it was a man that Shallan killed.
Okay.
Or do we even know if she killed him?
I'm pretty sure she killed both of them.
Because they both tried to kill her. So
yeah, I've looked at it. Well, yeah, he's bleeding because he gets stabbed by Lynn before he is actually killed. But I think there is something that implies that she killed both of them.
Because I only remember her mother having the burned out eyes.
Yeah. I think he's laying face down.
Maybe like Shallan killed the mom and Drader was there and Lynn did the finishing blow on the other to protect her, you know?
Yeah.
Like that seems reasonable, right?
Yeah, I it's possible. I don't think we have confirmation either way. We have confirmation that she killed her mom, not that she killed anyone else.
Yeah.
Or that she didn't kill anyone else.
Well, at that moment.
At that moment.
Did Hellerin know that his mother was involved with the Skybreakers when he joined?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. So I don't think that he would have, because he seems to really care about Shallan. I've really wondered, like, what does that look like if he knows what happened with his mother trying to kill his sister? Because he seems to care about her a lot when we see them in the flashback.
When we see him in person, yeah.
And he blames, the father, like, this is all, you caused this, right? So what does that do to him if he understood at the time that he was just trying to protect Shallan from his mother, who's involved with the Skybreakers trying to kill her? So that's...
I don't think he knew, because at that point, the what brought him to the attention of the Skybreakers was his seeking justice for his mother's death and believing his father got away with it.
So
and wanting to bring him.
Interesting.
That's so. Are we thinking the vector for the Skybreaker acolyte is Nail hears that someone who's a Davar gets a Spren bond. Nail sends Skybreaker to investigate. So Nail's already a bit up to speed on Davar things, and Hellerin impresses Nail and so gives him things. But maybe like mistakenly thinks that Hellerin was having that bond, maybe?
That's a possibility. Another possibility is that the mother was already connected to the Skybreakers in some way. Like she might be related to one. I think that's like if you were related to member of a secret society is the easiest way to become affiliated with a member of a secret
that's
society.
true, because
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I have this connection. Do you want to join our clandestine order?
Yeah, it worked for Shallan.
Well,
Uh,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it makes sense for Nail to think Helleran was the one with the bond if he knows one of them have it. Because I mean, going down the Davars siblings, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the twins, the lot, like.
Joshua
Oh,
tracks
super
Gamblespren.
Yeah. Whereas
they
Helleran,
don't, they don't obviously bring to mind like life before death, living out that ideal.
Guys, when you turn into the Knights Radiant Order for has the Gamblespren, you don't say life before death, you say dice before death.
Oh gosh.
No. Okay, all right. You're welcome, everyone.
yeah. Setting that aside, Helleran is also like tall and handsome and strong and
Yeah.
a charismatic force.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't expect the daughter to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my issue with kind of how this fits together is I feel like if the Skybreakers knew about Shallan, then why didn't somebody come to finish the job? So to me, that either implies that the mother never told anybody else. Well, the mother and her friend never told anybody else, or it implies that they came and figured, oh, it was Helleran. He was the one that had the Spren bond forming, maybe but it doesn't work like that way for Skybreakers.
Maybe she found out and was like, I need to act, and didn't have a chance to tell them. Spanreeds are new, right?
Yeah, they're only
Like-
a couple years old.
Like
so,
there's a lot of distance involved, so we have a lot more instantaneous communication now than we did previously. So, like, if she found out, maybe she'd just be able to tell the other Skybreaker acolyte, and then like, yo, we're gonna act, and then they're dead, and so they didn't really get to.
Mhm.
And maybe blamed. Oh, and then Nail here is, oh, Lynn Davar did it, and then, oh, Helleran's here and wants to seek justice. I'm interested, right? Like that
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
pretty logical. It's hard for me to imagine another reason why her mom would want to kill Shallan, because like that seems like a reasonable route. As far
Logical, maybe.
as,
do we actually know that she wanted to kill Shallan?
that's true.
I think. I mean, it's pretty clear in the scene, isn't it, that she's like coming at her with a knife? I don't know. It seems like a stretch to imagine that she wasn't to me.
It would be hard to imagine that Shallan would summon the blade unless she was in mortal danger.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not clear because we see the aftermath really, and not
Yeah.
much of what actually happened.
At the end of Words of Radiance, we do get it. It's very choppy, but
Yeah, right.
But we do get it in order.
I mean, it was always my impression that that was what her mom was trying to do. But
Yeah, I was just thinking that perhaps it wasn't as simple as all of that, but the way she was acting made it seem like, oh, I'm here to kill you, my daughter.
I mean, these are secret societies. Things are not necessarily simple, so that's
Yeah.
fair, right? But I don't know. That headcanon of, oh, okay, Skybreaker that needed to kill the Spren bond, like that seems reasonable. And maybe was just so invested in the Skybreakers that it's like, invested. That, well, even though she's my daughter, like, I have to do this because I'm convinced that this, for some reason, will cause the end of the world. So sure, why not? Even though great plan, Nail. Thanks, you dick.
That's why I'm hesitant of the whole seduction angle, seduction vector of her joining.
That was
The Seduction Vector is definitely a romance novel. I'm Googling this.
I mean, okay, yeah, just going from seduction to I want to kill my daughter is a bit of a stretch, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
There is not a book called The Seduction Vector. Someone should definitely get on that. Like, come on. I'm just saying. That's a good name for a thing. For something. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. But She has to have a more meaningful connection to the Skybreakers.
Yeah. Wouldn't be like, hey, hot guy, you should kill your daughter. Yeah. This is so good that we should I'm definitely going to listen to you to do this. Like, no, I agree. She has to be more invested in the Skybreakers.
The Skybreaker acolyte was her long-time true love that she didn't marry for political reasons, and she was forced to marry Lindavar.
And was secretly in the Skybreakers all along. Oh my god.
It's...
Maybe. It's possible. We don't actually
we
know.
have no idea.
We don't know.
Or he was her brother. Like,
less fun.
Shallan calls him her friend, though, in the
Shallan was young.
Middle Fest.
Would she know?
yeah.
Who her uncle is?
I feel like the whole Lynn murdered his wife when he found out she was having an affair thing.
And the affair.
But
it
was like known that that
Yeah.
was her brother.
Yeah.
I did not think that through.
Look, have my jokes been thought through? No, but I did them anyway. It's fine. Should we talk about the next Davar parent, Lindavar, who also has a lot of mystery? In our notes for this podcast, we don't have much on Lindavar in our notes. We just put Ghost Bloods, ! And Bad Dad. So just in case we forgot, it's in our talk.
That's the well thought out planning that goes into your
Shardcast. Into Shardcast. We're always well planned and definitely not a last minute job, even though we've been talking about this podcast for weeks.
What is there to say about it, though, right?
Lynn is like the second worst father in the Cosmere, I think.
Who's number one in your book?
Straff.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's pretty good choice. That's pretty clear choice.
I can't think of anyone between them.
I mean, Lynn was really awful.
Candidate.
They're close.
Straff was really awful.
Now,
Lynn,
okay.
Yeah,
and
right.
Lynn was like, "Oh, I'm trying to protect my daughter," which turned him into a horrible person.
That at
Straff was
least
just
like
a
makes
horrible
sense
person.
in your brain, you know.
See, he becomes an awful person, but I think we have to give him credit where it's due. That like at least he's at the start there, he seemed like a pretty good dad, right? I mean, if things hadn't progressed the way they did, maybe something could have been different.
Like I said at the beginning, people are as bad as the worst thing they've ever done.
True.
That yes, he did horrible things. He also did some good things. That doesn't make him good or bad.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, I get the impression though that even without the whole taking the blame thing, he still only would have liked Hellerin and Shallan. Like,
yeah, like he wouldn't have been a great dad, but not. I'm going to kill all your axe hounds and cripple you and all of that.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's
I'm not-
great. Yeah.
I know I'm not trying to defend Lynn.
No, I see
do
what you're
think she's a
saying,
horrible
though.
person.
Like, if you think of Straff Venture, there is nothing redeeming about him at all. Whereas, like, Lynn at least protected his daughter. Like, great, you get a thing, and we just have to mentally fill in the blanks. But, like, man, when you read those flashbacks, ooh, it is rough to read there.
It's a lot like the Lord Ruler. Like, he did horrible things.
Yep.
He also saved the world.
There's also the unmade aspect of what's going on.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Which we probably should get into.
Yeah, we've talked. Well, we didn't really talk with the Ghost Bloods. We will do that, but yeah, let's talk about the unmade here.
Okay, so Storm Lightning. You told someone that Non-Balat likes to hurt things, like a supernatural tendency to hurt things. Brandon, it's more along the lines of he has suffered some enhancement of a psychological issue through supernatural effects. It's not an unmade thing. Brandon, Raffo, good question. That's basically a confirmation, isn't it? And some laughs.
If Brandon just said Raffo, then it's like, okay, but
Right.
now Brandon, like, okay.
It wasn't a confirmation, but you made it one. And there's been others since then, if I'm not mistaken, that are pretty clear that there's some unmade activity going on. we don't have a good idea of which one it is, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
We can guess, speculate.
Didn't
Yes, we
you find a quote that was about passion with Balat?
Oh yeah.
Where's that?
It is from the flashback where Shallan kills her father,
Oh,
and I don't think I copied the text here, but
a
yeah,
very
it's,
passionate scene.
It's the scene where he's got the fire poker and he's just about to start wailing on Balat, and he's ranting about whatever as he does this. And Balat is laying on the ground, and Iolita is like next to him, like weeping, and Shallan's preparing her poison wine to give to her father, and so on. And anyway, so Lynn is complaining about his children, basically, and saying, like, why couldn't you be like Halaran? At least he had passion.
Oh, okay,
which in retrospect is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it could be just a coincidence. Like maybe that's just the word.
No, I refuse to believe that.
But
no way. That is if there is unmade influence on there, which Balat really liking to kill things, then that's reasonable. Which unmade?
Yeah, that's the question.
That is the question.
I mean, I think the one that probably gets thrown out the most is the thrill, because it's familiar, maybe, and it kind of explains a little bit with Lynn's anger problems. But I don't know that is a good explanation for the rest of the family.
Yeah, because the thrill's so localized,
and that too.
Yeah.
I would say the thrill could kind of fit Lynn and Balat, I guess, also hurting things, but I don't think it fits the twins at all.
How much unmade influence have we? Has that been confirmed that there's unmade influence on the twins?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't have that impression necessarily.
I thought there's a Wob saying basically it's the entire family is kind of under the influence of an unmade.
The only one that I saw was about Balat, specifically.
There's one about Lynn, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just singling. Well, there is what Hoyd says actually.
What's Hoyd say?
In Middlefest. It's the Middlefest chapter. Shallan has just kind of made this this is what her ideal family situation would have been like, and Hoyd's kind of testing her light weaving abilities, and he says, "You aren't ready. Keep cutting those thorns, strong one, and make a path for the light. The things you fight aren't completely natural." The things that she fights, referring to her family situation in general. She's in that chapter. She's basically spent the whole chapter trying to cheer up her siblings, and
that's right. Oh yeah,
So what are the possibilities? It can't be Eric's favorite by omission because she's still.
It could be in my heart.
It really can't be Syanat because that's not her thing.
Doesn't make sense.
No. It's not Yelignar's thing.
Oh no.
It's not the Shafir's thing.
No.
And she was in Earth Zero anyway.
Yeah, she couldn't have been.
It's not the heart of the rebel. What's the one called?
Ashert Marn.
The thing with Ashert Marn is the only thing I'm thinking about is Jushu's gambling, right? And driving people to that. It doesn't really fit the other ones.
It doesn't fit the rest, no.
But that's the only thing that I'm thinking of there. But it doesn't seem like a fit.
It's not Moloch.
No, that makes no sense for Moloch.
So the thing I'm thinking of isn't there a quote about Daiga Narthis, the Black Fisher, holding suffering or something?
Yep.
Sure, why not make it the mystery unmade?
I'm just trying to remember what that quote is.
Let me hurt no longer, let me no longer weep. Daiga Narthis, the Black Fisher, holds my sorrow and consumes it.
Maybe.
I mean, the other one is Chamoresh, which we literally know nothing about.
Yeah.
And then there's the thrill. So it's it feels like it's got to be Dust Mother or Daiga Narthis, right?
Yeah.
Because we just don't know about them, whereas the other ones we know too much. It's like, it's probably not that one, you know. So
yeah, or at least they don't fit the entire picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it could be multiple unmade.
Oh dear.
I mean, look, Shallan saw a lot of Unmade in Oathbringer, so I mean, she saw a lot of them. She could have. What if she saw?
The Unmade do seem to like Shallan. We have Not appearing to her, Ray Shaffer, like that whole encounter. They seem to like her.
Yeah.
The Stormlight Archive is basically a giant Pokemon quest for Shallan to capture all 9 Unmade.
Yeah. If it was a video game, that's what's happening.
Unmade Go, throw a gemstone at them.
I mean, technically, Shallan would be the Misty of the group. And
because she has red hair?
Yes.
I'm glad we got more Pokemon references in here. Great.
It's like, and it would be Axie's Ketchum.
Oh gosh.
And he is capturing things or collecting things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pokespren.
Pokespren. Man, Hessie, why do you just have to say Chamorish is like, wow, there's a lot of varied lore. Ha ha ha. Thanks. That was really helpful.
Brandon hates
Yeah,
us.
we could blame Brandon. Wow. Blame Brandon on that one.
Brandon.
Because Brandon didn't want to reveal it, so I was like,
exactly.
No.
So I feel like it's got to be those two, right?
Probably.
I mean, who knows? Like everything else surrounding these people.
I'm very interested to see Shallan's siblings now being around. Because if Falat was still influenced by an Unmade, Shallan could encounter another Unmade that's, influencing Falat.
Or what I was thinking is, will not being on that estate help their psychological problems?
I think so.
I mean, I don't know about any listeners, but if you're in a bad place, moving somewhere else is great. It's really helpful. That said, the world is being attacked by Voidbringers, so
But being on an isolated country estate versus
it was pretty
being
crappy.
in the center of everything.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
a different dynamic.
It's
seems
like
easier to get bogged down in your own self-pity is the wrong word, but own depression and darkness.
Yeah, I would agree.
And there's something, the fact that Risha Fear was that Shallan could sense her there and
understand.
Right. It almost just makes me feel like the fact that they are in Erytheru, they're surrounded by the Knights Radiant. I have a hard time imagining an Unmade kind of infiltrating again.
Especially if the sibling wakes up, I think.
Which should be soon-ish, maybe?
Hopefully. And especially since Odium himself couldn't enter Erytheru until Teravangian opened the window.
Yeah.
And let him in.
Well, I mean, that just sort of implies that you need to have someone let an Unmade in, I guess, right? Like a vampire.
Yeah.
You have to invite them.
It's just the fact that if Odium can't get in without assistance, an Unmade couldn't do it.
Well, which does kind of beg the question of how Rishford got in there, but
she was captured.
Yeah, right.
And they brought her to Erytheru for safekeeping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she broke out.
That part's interesting.
Radiants were gone.
What if, guys, I'm gonna pose a theory for you. What if Bida Mishram's prison is below the Davars estate? No, that's a joke. I'm not serious. It's possible.
There is the fact that Shadesmar is weird in Erytheru, which I've kind of assumed is maybe related to something with the sibling, but
yeah, maybe. How much do we know about that?
That is in part 2. Around, I think it's in the chapter that Renarin discovers the drawers.
Mm-hmm.
Shallan is talking with Pattern, I think, and they just sense that there's something weird in Shadesmar. She tells Yasna, and Yasna's like, "Oh, that's nice," and then they totally never come back to it. It's a big deal, and they just we're too busy with all this other stuff to deal with.
One of the most frustrating things in Oathbringer is watching Shallan and Yasna interact again. That was really irritating.
Oh yeah.
Just talk to each other. Gah!
Yeah. They really do need some communication counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two in particular.
I just thought you meant the entire Davar family.
Well,
that too. Prescribe some therapy to all of them.
Shallan's mom just needed to persuade Lynn that this is the correct course of action.
We need to murder our daughter.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have pushed Lynn over the edge way faster.
Look, you just gotta sell it. Should we go through and discuss who the siblings are? Not the Spren, the sibling, but the Shallan's brothers. Jofwu is the sibling all along.
Yikes.
The sibling just got into a big gambling problem, and that's why
Yikes.
That's why the sibling left through.
They are. They do live near the Horn-Eater Peaks.
They have Horn-Eater blood.
Yeah,
they do.
And we all know the three gods that brought the Horn-Eaters to the peaks. That the sibling was one of them.
What?
Right? Oh, we haven't been over this. Yeah, there's
I can't
three.
Tell if you're
there's
going
the three
for a
gods.
joke here,
No.
or
Yeah, I
actually
can't tell
talking
It's not a
about
joke.
the
It's
theory.
crazy. It's wild theories. Don't worry
It's
about it.
not a wild theory because I totally subscribe to it.
Okay.
But I thought you were going for like some weird joke.
No, that's me. Thanks.
Well, the joke is that we're somehow relating Shallan's family to the sibling through the Horn-Eaters.
Okay.
And
okay. Great. 10 out of 10.
But yeah, I'm totally for the theory that the sibling is responsible for the Horn-Eater Peaks being habitable. And it's the same mechanism that made Earth-Theru habitable.
Great. Let's talk about the brothers.
sibling cast.
Sibling cast.
We already did Halloran, right?
Well, I mean, if you didn't know, guys, Keldon murdered Halloran real good. Rip.
I had a
That's
great
another
theory.
thing that really isn't dealt with.
Oh,
in Oathbringer.
That's true.
Because Shallan finds out and she's like, I can't process this right now. But that's in like part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in part 2, and then they're just like, we'll deal with this later.
Wait, doesn't she kind of eventually go? Doesn't she eventually be like, Halloran was gone for a while and was trying to kill Kaladin, so I'm not really that mad that Kaladin killed him.
Yeah.
She kind of pushes it off.
Yeah.
I think that with time, I think that she will kind of get over it. I never got the sense that she like really blamed Amaram. Like she kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like he was just an easy person to blame, because when she gets the letter from Reyes explaining the history, like she kind of like realizes like, okay, maybe he was not just this like great brother that was just like off minding his own business and then someone came along and murdered him. Like he was obviously up to something.
He wasn't this paragon of virtue that she idolized as a child.
Was the reason why Halloran went to Amram's army to just take care of Amaram, basically?
No.
Or to kill the...
Because there was a surge binder.
Yeah, because there was a surge binder. Okay, great, cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. I don't really think there's a lot of more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no. What?
Tien had already
was
been dead by then.
dead.
Yeah.
So why was
the letter says letter says the Ghostbloods think the Skybreakers were trying to deal a blow to the Sons of Honor.
Yeah, that's why. Sorry, that's why I was thinking. Amaram.
That's what the Ghostbloods think.
I feel like if you're trying to kill a Surge Binder, just coming in with Shardblade and Shardblade in the battlefield's probably not the best route necessarily, but maybe the Skybreakers aren't about subtlety.
I don't think they knew about Kaladin.
No.
I don't think they could have, because there's like nothing there at that point. That's like maybe like the very beginning, right?
Oh yeah, because Syl was mainly was attracted to Kaladin because he didn't take the blade.
No, she was around before that.
Well, yeah, but like she said that was a big factor, right? Yeah. That was a big moment.
There's the wibbly wobbly timey wimey where she's attracted to him before things.
Everything's connected in the spiritual realm.
Everybody that we do see the Skybreakers chasing down has gotten along further in there. Like they're at least said the first ideal. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
I
mean, we have Lift, we have Eam, we have Stump. Like they all like had some kind of progression going, and Kaladin was a year off or whatever from that. So
yeah. But that's Helleran. Balat.
Balat.
A lot.
The guy who likes to pull
Kremling legs
off of Kremlings and then their shells apart. And like,
Disian Amien's worst
Foreshadowing.
nightmare.
Yeah.
I was about to
I'll
say,
go
how
through.
much do the Disian Amiens hate him, do you think?
Oh yeah, let's get Disian Amiens influencing the Davars too. Great, thanks.
Probably.
I'm sure, why not?
well, they have to have been watching.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Oh,
The thief.
you're right though.
Yeah.
They were 100% watching. Oh, that's right. I still forget how awesome that is. That's just like, no, the Disians were watching all the main characters. So
Oh, man,
extra influence, easy.
I want that scene so bad now of like the Disians being like, darn it, Balat killed our agent again. All right, send some more in.
I need to go reread that interlude again. He's engaged. That was the thing in the flashbacks.
To the best Davar.
She's not technically
she's
a
not.
Davar yet,
Yep.
though. Is
She will be the best Davar because she's a normal person.
For now.
Probably, maybe.
For now.
Once you go Davar, you don't go back. Sure, her time's limited. She's a Davar wife. She's dead. She's dead next week.
Oh gosh.
Then we have the twins, which I honestly completely forgot they were twins until we were researching.
Well, they're fraternal, right?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's Wickham.
Mhm.
He's depressed.
Wickham's depressed.
Yep.
Suicidal, I think. Yeah, because he
Yes.
has the box bane.
Yep. And wanted to join the Ardentia. Why didn't he go do that?
His father didn't want him to.
Well, okay. All right. There you go. Mystery solved.
And did he actually want to join the Ardentia, or is that something Shallan suggested to him? But
I think
father
it's
will
kind of
would
like
never go for it.
I think it's kind of like this is, I guess, maybe what I want to do. And his dad's like, no, that's stupid. No son of mine would, whatever. And then
Yeah.
I think Shallan kind of encourages him down that path.
Probably to get
anyways.
away from Lynn. Like,
Like she encourages the mathematics.
right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I completely forgot about that part. And then we have Jushu.
The drunk gambler.
Yep.
the worst
Shallan.
Davar. Well, no, Lynn is. Never mind.
I
He's
will
not-
say that he did hold Shallan the night she killed her mom.
And
But
that's
he
why,
didn't know that.
And that's
One
why
point.
he resents Shallan, right? Or no, he
Um,
resents Shallan because Lynn was nice to her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He kind of resents the whole family. I feel like
That's fair.
there's an early scene where he kind of is like complaining. He's like, "You guys are all nuts, and I'm the only one that's got any. Like, I'm the only one that's normal." And
Which they all do
not
that.
so
It's
much.
like because Balat has a scene where he's like, I'm the only sane one in this family, me and Shallan.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of the brothers are like that. It's like I'm the only sane one except for Shallan. They all
Right.
think Shallan is okay.
They all think Shallan
right.
is okay.
They all think
She's the
Shallan's
least okay.
She's
Exactly.
the least okay. Makes sense though that, I don't know if Jushu's gambling and vices and causing the debt, and of course we see that scene where Shallan rescues Jushu. But I don't know that has to be about an unmade, for example, because that's a completely reasonable consequence of their terrible, terrible situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of them are reasonable consequences. The unmade just makes it worse.
That's
Yeah.
very reasonable as well.
Yeah. It's like these are all actions the person would take. The unmade might just be pushing it,
They're just rioting.
yeah.
a little
turning
bit.
it up a.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's so if it's an unmade we don't know, that's kind of an interesting idea, I guess, for what that unmade does is amplify.
The worst of people.
But is that different than the thrill?
I mean,
well,
that
amplify,
sounds
like,
more
Thrill's
like
pretty
Ashert Marn to me,
specific.
kind of.
Yeah, see,
Amplifying
that's why
vices.
that's why Ashert Marn. Maybe it's like maybe Ashert. I mean, Ashert Martin was not there, right? But like close-ish? Like Ashert Martin has not been in Kholinar forever, right? Like how did Ashert Martin get there, right?
Ashert Martin is more driving people to excess,
Yeah.
which isn't quite what
yeah.
Jushu is doing.
No. Yeah.
Anyways, so
Yeah.
I found it amusing that like after Shallan kills her father and they're all trying to scramble to like figure out what they're going to do to save the family, Balat kind of like takes over, like he's like head of the family now. Wickham is like I think like managing like some accounts and like trying to like work with some of the debtors to buy some more time, and Yushu, his job is basically to like take all their stuff and go sell it to people so that they have money to live off of until it's like this is what you can contribute, Yushu. You get to go sell our stuff.
But it's the fact that he has built up that debt,
right?
That he is able to do it without arising suspicion.
He has the contact.
I guess
the cover story.
That's his value is.
It's not unlike you to want to sell all your crap. We totally okay. So those are the siblings, but we totally didn't talk about the Ghost Bloods in
right.
Lynn. That's really important. We have to do that.
So Ghost Bloods.
So Lynn's situation was pretty crappy, but got into new financial avenues because Lynn knew the ghost. Luesh, yes, that's right. That's his name. Who was a Ghost Blood, which gave them the Soulcaster.
Yeah. Well, Luesh was placed there by the Ghost Bloods.
Yeah.
So I don't think Luesh was the Vector.
Oh no.
And I almost wonder if the Ghost Bloods are keeping tabs on the Skybreakers.
True.
So they would have known that the Skybreakers have an interest in this family. So when the Skybreakers lost their agent, maybe the Ghost Bloods like, ooh, that's an opportunity. And decided to
maybe
play.
There's certainly some like another mystery of how did this connection happen in the first place.
That is clearly a mystery, as well as basically everything about the Ghost Bloods and their actual goals. Like that's so inscrutable that I feel like once we know their motivation, that's gonna tell us why they were involved there, right? In some respects.
Hopefully, I mean,
they're just so inscrutable.
So they loan the Davars a Soulcaster. That's kind of the main thing, I guess, that they do. What else do they do? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's clear. Probably political favors of some kind.
Probably. It definitely felt like it wasn't just
Lynn was trying to set himself up politically with the guy who was fighting to become king, right?
Valam,
Thank you.
Prince Valam, yeah.
So like maybe that's kind of what their angle is like, here's a guy we can use to get in closer to the leadership of Vidana.
Because it was financial favor and because they had the Soulcaster. But I mean, I imagine that gave him more contacts. There was a time where Lynn had guards that were a lot more hateful. Was that after Luesh?
No, you're reversing it, I think, unless I'm misunderstanding you. They talk about in the flashback where Lynn orders the guards to kill all of the Axehound pups. They talk about how like the old guards used to be so much better, and I think that the bad guards come with Luesh in the Ghost Blood deal. That's later on when Lynn is really off the deep end and.
Yeah, but so he's getting more resources from the Ghost Bloods then, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know that they necessarily coming from the Ghost Bloods.
Sure.
But.
Yeah, that could just be them being affected by whatever Unmade is affecting the family.
That's...
The darkness of that place is driving them to be more hateful.
Yep. That seems very reasonable.
Whew.
Yeah, okay. So currying favor with Valam and getting influence there, but that's really the best we got for the Ghost Bloods. Like, I don't really know what their real goal was. And
it's interesting that Shallan is now connected with. It's kind of funny, I guess, that it's kind of coming back around, and so it'll be interesting to see what that means for her character.
I think it's got to be a lot. Like, that was a pretty big reveal when in Way of Kings, where Shallan just tells Yasna, "No, my father knew these guys." Like, that was a big thing. That was a big deal.
And the fact that she hasn't told Yasna that, oh, hey, I'm a member of those people now.
This is going to be a thing, right? This has to be a thing.
Do you think that she will tell Yasna, like, between books, or is that going to be something
that's got to be on screen?
It's gonna she's gonna wait another whole year before telling her?
I know, that's why I'm not.
Maybe they're just busy fighting. Maybe they're just busy fighting, and so they don't get so much of a reprieve. I don't know. Like, they have to go on skirmishes to defend places at the Oath Gates or something, right? Like, and they had to be split up, and so they didn't have too much time to talk on screen. I don't know. I'm sure Brandon has a good reason for there to be a time jump between 3 and 4, even though, like, I totally am with you that, like, man, there's so much that you could say a week after Oathbreaker that, like, you probably should really talk about, you know?
Just trying to think. Do you think the Ghost Bloods were playing a long game and trying to get Shallan? Like, did they know about her?
I don't think so. Because not even the Skybreakers knew.
Yeah.
But Hoyd knew, but Hoyd knows a lot.
I mean, the Ghost Bloods were trying to kill Yasna, and Yasna's, like, on, like, out. Like, that's their whole plot, was to kill Yasna, right? And they didn't know anything about Shallan.
Yeah. Hoyd only knew when he met her.
True. Good point.
Because when he saw her, he was surprised.
Oh, that's true. That's right. You're right. I mean, I don't think that Yasna being a Radiant is why they're killing Yasna. I think it's because Yasna is opposed to the Ghost Bloods in a direct way. Like, they're not like the Skybreakers where we're killing Radiants just because we can. And
they were killing her because she had killed her agents of theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
Little tete-a-tete.
Because they had different motives for finding Urithiru.
The Ghost Bloods are
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
So this is a tangent, but is it notable that Hoyd had some kind of connection with Helarin before this, right? Because that's who he's coming from. Like, he had him deliver a message to Lynn.
Oh,
right?
Geez.
Yeah, he ran into
So
Helarin.
why were they connected? Just because he's a Skybreaker?
I mean, you have to understand that Hoyd is using Fortune, and so Fortune could lead him to do weird crap that eventually leads him to Shallan, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's
that could
totally
be
true.
the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be
that,
a deep reason.
He says that in that chapter pretty much, didn't he? He's like, she's like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Well, I just found out you."
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's totally one of those Fortune things, right? That
he was going in this direction. He met up with Helarin. Like, Helarin was like, "Hey, you're going in that direction. Anyways, take this letter to my father."
And that led him to what he really needed to find.
Yeah.
Fortune works very
in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Well, I tapping Fortune's pretty useful. I totally forgot about that, but that's got to just be a Fortune thing rather than any deep relationship with Helarin. Like, especially when Hoyd says, yes, that's why I'm here. Like, Hoyd doesn't know why he's going where he's going, but there's a point to it.
Hoyd knows Nalan, so he probably has had relations with the Skybreakers.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, how much did Hoyd interact with heralds is a great question, because part of me thinks that for most of the Desolations, Hoyd would really not want to be around there.
Oh yeah, but
It's been 4,500 years, you know. Like, it's been plenty of time.
Yeah, Nalan is a crazy person, and Hoyd would absolutely be like, "You are a crazy person. I do not trust you as far as I can throw you."
Yeah.
But you're also one of the few people that have a long view of history like I do.
Yeah.
and could possibly help me in certain plans I have in the fire.
Hoyd is happy to use whoever is useful to him, so that's true. Which is that's super interesting.
And he wasn't a Radiant, so Milan has no reason to hate him. So
until now, hey.
Yeah. Well, now he doesn't care if you're a Radiant. Well, I mean, he's not going to kill you for being one.
Yeah, I'm just looking in our document, and this quote from Oathbringer, chapter 25. Shallan choked up. She remembered sitting at the edge of her seat, listening to the story. As a child, when moments like watching the players had been the only bright spots in life. Too many memories of her father and of her mother, who had loved telling her stories. She tried to banish those memories, but they wouldn't go. So I guess that's the thing we know about her mom.
Yeah.
Which I completely forgot.
Well, yeah, so I pulled that in there because I'm curious what it means. Like, what part of her life is that from? I don't. Why is she trying to banish the memories? Just because it was a happy time and she doesn't
really want to think about the people she murdered. Probably I don't really think it needs to be that complicated.
But then it implies like there was this happier time in her life before before the Skybreakers and everything.
Well, Shallan's idealizing so many of these things, like just with Helen, right? Like, of course she idealizes that. That's before everything went wrong. Like it's always better in the good old days. But was it actually better in the good old days? Shallan was a kid. She probably didn't even know, how good or bad the days were necessarily.
And she had an idea.
Well, sure.
And Shallan does this thing where she tries to block out the bad memories and just think that everything is great.
Hey, that's kind of a thing that happens a lot. But I'm really excited to see how her brothers will matter. Because I feel like them being in Urithiru, at the very least, they feel like great Ghost Blood pawns. At minimum.
I don't think they should be. Because at the end of Words of Radiance, is like, oh yeah, we'll deliver your brothers to you, like, as a gift, like, no strings attached.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, they'll only become pawns if they get involved. Or if Shallan gets them involved. But I'm excited to see them interact with, like, Adolin and Renarin.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've read the flashbacks fully, but I'm kind of feeling a Wickham-Renarin friendship.
Yep.
That's true. They're
that would
both
be fun.
They're both like into the mathy things. They both considered joining the Ardentia, right? Like,
get another corrupted spread for Wickham.
Yikes. These guys don't need any corrupted Spren.
No, they do.
I mean, Bernard already has one, so.
No. More corruption, more influence on the Davars, more. Get some Shianat in there. Spiced in.
But Shianat's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, compared to a lot of other influences the Davar has, Shianat, not the worst. She's pretty good influence. If she was to influence them, it'd be a good, fine influence. No, I would actually like that. Wickham being a truth watcher or something. Yeah.
You can have Dalinar as like a positive father figure for once. They actually see what that looks like.
It'll be great. Yeah. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Shallan interact with them again, just to see if everything she's been through will change their relationships with one another, and
it'll have to be.
Well, because they idealize Shallan, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, she did murder their dad, so it's like, oh, okay, you're not quite what we thought.
But even after that, in Way of Kings, we see like they don't know if she can do.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't think she can steal the Soulcaster,
right?
And all of that. Seeing the strong woman she's become.
That's going to be really
It's going to take some getting used to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's going to be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Except they'll have a year to get used to it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So much of this is how will this time jump go, Brandon? I
We're
know
all
you have
very skeptical.
Well, But I mean, then I go reread Oathbringer again, and like once you read Words of Radiance, you're like, how will the next book even begin? What could possibly happen? And then you read Oathbringer, I'm like, I'm invested. Do we have other wrapping thoughts?
Other than I'm excited to one day maybe hopefully find out what was going on before Shallan killed her mother. That's just the biggest question for me.
That's a big one for me.
I think we build just like how we got a couple Kaladin flashbacks in Oathbringer. We'll probably get a handful of Shallan flashbacks at some point.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
That's such a big hole that's not resolved, and before Shallan can get Shardplate and be, well, I guess she kind of does, huh? But like before she can be whole as a character, right? Like she's got to come to terms with all of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Like we don't even know when she said the first deal. I feel like that's something we kind of need to see, or at least hear about. I suppose we don't see it for every character. Every Radiant.
Yeah, right. Grace, any final thoughts?
I think Shallan is my favorite Davar.
Well, yeah.
She's a Kholin now, so
She's both.
Oh, I have to choose a different one.
No, she's both.
Isleta, when she becomes one.
Isleta dies next book. I'm calling it.
Melise gets the short end of the stick and deserved better.
I mean, that's true. That is.
She definitely got the short end of the stick in this podcast, where we barely mentioned her.
Yikes.
Well, there's not much to talk about with Melise. Lynn killed her.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. Ian, any other thoughts?
This whole family is a bag of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Which, do we think any of other siblings will become Radiants? I don't know.
I mean,
They could. They're all broken enough.
They're broken. They are broken.
Yeah.
And Spren are attracted to people who know other people with Spren. So,
Yep.
Like that could be really interesting to see how like maybe one of them becomes like one of Shallan's squires or something. Like that's entirely possible because they'll probably be around Shallan.
That would be fantastic to see them all become like squires.
Yeah.
Become as Renarin Squire.
See? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think one of them will probably become a squire for Shallan. Like I think that's totally reasonable, right?
Yeah.
I think it would be Yushu. I don't know why, but he seems the most likely for me.
I feel like Yushu would fit in really well with her current squires that were all like former mercenaries.
Yeah. They'd probably give him crap, honestly. A whole lot of crap. I don't know where what's Balat's story supposed to be going? Like, it's weird to think about. I don't really know what's going on there.
There's an old Word of Brennan talking about how pulling apart small creatures and lighting things on fire are all indicators of psychopaths. And Brennan's like, yeah, that's intentional. So,
I mean, yeah.
You said pulling things apart and lighting things on fire. And I thought you were about to say something about association with the Dustbringers.
That's what I thought too.
no.
Balat for Dustbringers.
Maybe that's where he's going.
I mean,
possibly.
Maybe.
He could just destroy the Kremlings.
Or Balat joins with Vyre.
No. Brennan has said that we'll see a new Dustbringer in book 4, so.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I mean, that's not really a spoiler to see.
Yeah.
Will we see more Radiance in the next book? Yeah.
But it was specifically Dustbringer.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just thinking about pre-Oathbringer, how there was that huge theory about Redin becoming a Dustbringer. Maybe that's still not out of the question.
Which one was Redin?
Redin was the bastard of the High Prince who came to investigate. That was a pretty big theory before Oathbringer that I subscribed to, and then he just never gets mentioned.
He was a cool character.
He was a cool character. I think so. Well, I mean, that could be relevant with Taravangian stuff, right? Like that's the Yakaved stuff. So, like, I imagine those characters will come back again, but...
Or maybe even with the Davars, he did investigate Shallan's mother's death.
Ooh. Yep. Very true. Before this podcast, I was like, yeah, let's talk about what could possibly happen with the Davars in the future. But now I'm like, wow, the brothers. There's so many ways for the brothers could go. Like, there's a lot of possibilities. But yeah, we're all agreed that we gotta know what happened in Shallan before Shallan's mom tried to kill her. That's mandatory. We will be upset if that never gets revealed, for sure.
Last page of book 10.
And then it was revealed that she had the secret of beating Odium all along. That's why
she just blocked it out this whole time.
No, that would be irritating. No, that would be the worst. Great. Well, this is a good one. So, you know what time it is, guys. It's time for Who's That Cosmere Character?
Who's that Cosmere character?
All right, guys. Grace will be our gracious host. I'm sorry. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone.
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I imagine you haven't.
So, you know how the game is played. You send in an email with a character and 5 clues, and I read the clues aloud, and our panel... I did that the right side, right? Yeah. All right, our panel...
well, now we're actually in a row above the top, so...
Really?
Oh, wow,
Sorry.
ruined.
I have to put the clues on the screen, okay? Come on.
Our panel gets 1 guess after each clue to try and figure out who's that Cosmere character.
All right. I'm ready.
So your first... Oh, this was sent in by Calic on the Discord and Coppermind.
Ooh. That means we're screwed. Actually, that's not true. With the 3 of us, our Coppermind knowledge, we could probably figure out most things.
It depends how minor they are, which
That's
story
true.
they're from.
That's true.
This first clue is, this character is female.
Oh, Shallan.
Yasna.
It's not Yasna, and it is not Shallan.
Okay.
Edgley.
It is not Edgley. Edgley.
Yep.
Edgley.
Clue number 2. This character witnesses the death of a king.
Witnesses. So, like, random people that were at the feast did not physically witness Zeth killing Gavilar.
No.
Vin?
It is not Vin.
Oh, this is good. The character themselves witnessed a king dying, correct?
This character witnessed the death of a king.
Okay. I'm just verifying, okay? I don't have the clues on the screen. I edit that in post, okay?
Vin.
That's
I
what
just
Ian
guessed
said, but
just
no, it
guessed.
is not Vin.
I was too busy thinking.
You definitely
Obviously.
outsmarted yourself.
Yikes.
I'm just thinking of kings who died at this
Yeah,
stage.
Ooh, I've got a guess.
I do too.
I mean, is Grace going to be so mean that Vin is your guess and not let you guess again?
Oh, I don't get to guess again.
No, I don't know. That's up to Grace.
I think I guessed. It was a genuine guess.
Yeah, I'm taking that as a guess.
Grace is heartless on who's that Cosmere character. She gives nothing extra, anything. You're just out.
She told me I'm not allowed to call her a harsh judge anymore.
Yeah, no, Ian's not allowed. I forget which episode it was, but he was the judge, and I think he was worse than me. Or at
That's
least
true,
as
but that's
bad.
because Ian doesn't get to do it very often. So he gets to ramp it up, you know? Leshwi.
It is not Leshwi.
I was thinking that, like, maybe she witnessed Jezreel's death, who was a king. All right? Roll with me? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
the best
got
I
where
got.
you're coming from.
Okay, cool.
Clue 3. This character befriends a Radiant.
Oh, no.
Adrotagia.
It is not Adrotagia.
That was going to be my guess.
You two are just on the same page.
What's her name?
Oh, dang it.
It's one of the singers that Kaladin hangs out with, who was there during the Battle of Kholinar.
Oh,
I know
crap.
what it is.
It's not Saw, because Saw was the guy.
Mm-hmm. Guess you just have to
Ken.
throw your guesses away.
Ken,
Dang it.
K-H-E-N?
Yes, it is Ken.
Thanks, Ian. I had no idea where we were going with this, so yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I would not have remembered her name.
Clue
It's like-
number 4 is this character takes a captive.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
clue
Okay,
number 5 is this character is a singer.
I guess I really should have thought of, what kings died? Gavilar, Elhokar. Like, I really probably should have made that connection a little earlier, rather than Jezrien. Whatever.
I was hoping one of you would be like, was anyone there witnessing Eodon's death? Just
I
for fun?
did think about Aida,
Of course you did.
but like he hung himself and
I forgot how he died, but
Yeah, he
I know
hung
he
himself.
did die.
Yeah, that was good. Good. That was a good one.
was.
I always get Saw and Ken confused, though, because I always think it's
I
the
only
reverse.
ever remember Saw, which is horrible.
Wow, that's both racist and sexist.
How is it racist?
Because they're singers. Speciesist, whatever.
I still don't understand how that's racist.
Because all the singers look alike to you, and so you only remember Saw. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one.
All right. This one was sent in by Lady Midnight, Lady MXD Night. I don't know how to pronounce
Okay,
that.
I was worried that it was
Ari.
going to be a lady lameness one again, and we gotta
No.
brace ourselves. But welcome.
Although
Great.
this person has done Coppermine.
Yeah,
right?
That's
she
true.
has.
She has
Yes,
done.
I
She
did
has done.
recognize that. All right.
And this is her first Who's That Cosmere character
Yay!
submission. So congrats.
Welcome.
I think she was one of the top Coppermine objective completers last month.
I don't remember you do those, so I believe you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing
All
those, by
right.
the way.
The first clue is this character is from Roshar.
Okay. Shalon.
It is not
Tien.
Shalon. It is not Tien. Wait, did someone guess Tien?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, it is not Tien.
Yeah, no. Gotta go with the classics.
You're thinking way too hard on something that's.
I know.
Rosharan.
I want to make a funny one.
Menace.
No.
One
Ken.
day.
If I knew how to say her name, I would say her, but I don't. So I'm gonna say Renarin.
It is not Renarin.
What?
I was thinking of like the Parasafati one.
Parasafi?
Who?
Parasafi?
Oh
He's
yeah, I
Apes
know
of
who-
Dara?
the moon myth.
Yeah.
right?
No. The
no, it's the
Makabaki.
rocks.
Yeah, the Peaks
the-
of Dara. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've
thought
looked
she
at
was
those
a-
articles and been like, oh man, should I mark these complete? I feel like they could be improved, so I just won't.
Somebody should admit Rock's wife, but require us to get her horn-eater name.
Oh God, no.
No. Don't do that. No.
all right. Clue number 2. This character is fond of gambling.
Yushu?
It is not Yushu.
Dang it. I didn't guess. That's good.
Wait. Oh, God. Sorry. Oh, right. Not female. I'm like, it can't be Yushu. This character is female.
Oh,
besides
right,
the
right,
previous
right.
one, right? Who else gambles on Roshar?
Yeah, Rosharan Gamblers.
Teft?
It is not Teft.
Did he gamble? I don't know.
He's-
Probably for Fire Moss at some point. Maybe.
Scar.
It is not Scar. I don't think he gambles either. It's fun.
I thought he went out with didn't he go and he and Dre and Adolin, didn't they go out like play cards or something? I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
gambling once is a gambler. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, was the clue is a gambler or
Is fond of gambling.
Is fond
the
of
clue.
okay, yeah.
But you
that's
guys all
different.
guessed. So.
Yeah.
Clue 3. This character has served as an escort to a bright lady.
Gaz?
It is not Gaz.
Escort to a bright lady. This is one of like Shalon's guards or something. I don't know, so I'm gonna go with Vatha.
It is not. Wait, who did?
Vatha?
It is not Fatha.
He wouldn't gamble.
I don't remember.
Red.
It is not Red. Clue number 4. This character interacts with a book merchant.
Oh.
Yulb!
It is
Ah.
Yalb. The 5th clue was this character considers Shalon to be good luck.
That was good. That was a good one. Because, like, Yalv is, like, one of the first people. Like, that should have... Yeah. He's fond of gambling. Yeah, I guess he was. Yeah. I like
He
that.
scams the guards while he's waiting on her.
Yeah, that's right. That was a good one. That was an excellent one. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We will not have additional episodes of dealing with the Davars until a long time from now, I imagine. Because this is not going to be a 4-part Kholin episode where we still had things to talk about, really. But I think we got things pretty set. If you have any ideas about the Davars, you comment below. Send your Who's That Cosmic Characters to who'sthatcosmiccharacter@gmail.com. And come find us on 17shard.com, on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube, and leave us a review on iTunes. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
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 Caw.